I know we must maintain ties of kinship, but what if these relatives are very bad and they only create conflicts and harm us? Is it still mandatory to maintain ties with them, or we can break to save ourselves from further harm and mental torture? First of all, the Prophet ﷺ had told us that it is one of the major sins to cut your kinship, ties of kinship, to sever your kinship. Allah Azza wa Jal made this associated with corruption on earth. And the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, the one who severs his kinship will not be admitted to Jannah, to paradise. So it is a major sin. Now, if someone is kind and nice to you, by default, you will be kind and nice to him. And there's no testing in that. The real test is when there is hardship, when they are rude, when they're not communicating to you. This is when you test it and when you pass the test. If you treat them likewise, then you are as bad as they are, and you are as sinful as they are. But if you excel in elevate yourself to the level of that companion who came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, "O Prophet of Allah, I have relatives of mine, my kinship. I'm kind to them and they're evil to me. I connect them and they sever my kinship. I tolerate them and they do bad things. So should I continue to connect my kinship?" The Prophet said, alayhi salatu to him, "If you are as you have truly described yourself to be, you are blowing ashes in their faces with your kindness, and there will remain with you an angel defending you against them." So the Prophet is highlighting that you must not cut or sever your kinship even if they're bad to you. Now, having said that, you don't have to go to both extremes. You don't have to cut them off entirely as if they're not related to you, nor be with them 24/7. You have to maintain the minimal possible amount or level of connectivity. So calling them once every few weeks, once a month, seeing them for a few minutes during the Eid or in marriages and invitations, this is something that you have to live with. You cannot live with someone or expect to live with people who are always kind and nice and loving and caring. Your fingers are not of the same length. So you should expect that people as well are not to be all alike, and this is part of your testing. May Allah make it easy for all of us. Rashid says, as ties should not be cut with relatives, does it include first relatives that are parents, brothers, sisters, or cousins, second cousins, or distant relatives are also included? Well, first of all, cutting the next of kin, severing kinship, is a major sin. And this is given. Now, your relationship with your kinship varies. So my relationship to my parents is definitely not like my relationship to my siblings. And to my siblings is not like to my cousins. And to my cousins is not like to my second or third cousins, and so on. And therefore, each category varies in the way I connect to them. So I connect totally and fully to my parents in terms of obedience, being dutiful, respectful, and financially supporting them, far more greater than I am to my siblings. So each one of them is, yes, if you sever your kinship, you're sinful. But my second cousins, for example, I can call them once every couple of months and still be considered to be on good terms with them. But I can't do that with my siblings, let alone my parents, because if I don't call my parents on like daily basis and check on them, I'm not dutiful. And if I don't call my siblings like every couple of days or every week and check on them and meet them and see them, I'm considered to be severing the ties of kinship. But how do we differentiate and how do we measure that this is severing or connecting? Scholars say that connecting your kinship is something dependent on the urf, on what is acknowledged and accepted among the community and the society. So they say that when the society considers something to be severing the kinship, then it is. Nowadays, for example, if you give your sibling a call every couple of days for 20 to 15 to 30 seconds. How are things? How are you doing? How are the kids? How's work? Do you need anything? Yeah, well, I haven't seen you. Okay, mom was fine. I went there yesterday, and maybe next week we have this. And yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, good talking to you. Salaam alaikum wa alaikum salam. That's it. This would be connecting to your kinship. But if, for example, your brother invites you to his son's wedding and you don't show up, this is severing kinship. Especially if you don't apologize and he accepts your apology for a legitimate reason. So you have to weigh the pros and cons. But again, your further relatives do not have the same rights as the close relatives of yours, and Allah knows best. Can I sever my ties of kinship with my non-Muslim relatives? And am I obliged to help them when they are in need? What about your own family, like parents and siblings? Islam promotes maintaining and observing ties of kinship. And this is highly recommended, if not obligatory, when they are Muslims. But even the non-Muslims, we're ordered to be kind to them. Asma bint Abi Bakr, may Allah be pleased with her, said that I came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Prophet of Allah, my mother came to visit me and she's a disbeliever. So should I be dutiful and kind and respectful to her? The Prophet said, yes, ﷺ. So if you have a non-Muslim uncle or a cousin, severing their kinship ties would not add any value, neither to them nor to you. Maybe it would relieve you from some sort of headache and tension. But if you look at the long-term impact, you will find that they might be guided. They might convert and revert to Islam because of your way of dealing with them and trying to be kind and connecting to them. So yes, this is not permissible. You have to do your level best to observe your ties of kinship.
Who are the relatives we must keep ties with?
Okay, the relatives that you must observe your kinship and connect to them are anyone related to you from your mother's side or your father's side. This includes your siblings, your uncles and aunts, your cousins, and your second cousins, and your third cousins. So all of those are related to you, and they're your blood relatives. Now, having said that, in extended families, it would be quite difficult, if not impossible, to connect to all of this if I have like 200 relatives. Therefore, we begin with the priorities: your siblings, then your uncles and aunts, then your cousins. What extends further, maybe meeting them in weddings, or giving them a call every blue moon, or seeing them at occasions would be sufficient, because it is not logical nor feasible to go and visit all of those and spend like 5 minutes with them. That would not be also feasible. Therefore, you have to prioritize. But are they my kinship? Of course they are. Even your third or fourth cousin and so on.